Alright, we are back for another video. This one's going to be about the real number system. And so here we're going to look at how the real numbers are broken down, or what falls under the umbrella of real numbers. And then we're going to focus in on the irrational numbers and just talk about those really quickly. So real numbers are any of the numbers that we look at mathematically. And you'll be spending a lot of time with them, and that's all you've looked at up to this point. So real numbers breaks down into this idea of rational numbers and irrational numbers. And you guys understand rational numbers as any number that we can write as a fraction, where m and n are integers and n does not equal 0. Irrational numbers, some of you have celebrated this day before, would be like the number pi, where it is a decimal that does not repeat or terminate. And so we'll look a little bit more at these irrational numbers, but let's look over at these rational numbers. Within the rational number set, we have more specific ones. We can call them integers. Okay, integers are positive and negative whole numbers, and so a set within the integer set are whole numbers. And whole numbers are any number that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. Okay, so they're whole numbers. There's no fractions, there's no decimals that include 0. And then specifically within that, there are these things called natural numbers or counting numbers, which are a lot like whole numbers, except that they don't include the number 0. So it's only numbers that you would count with. You wouldn't say, I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You just say, if you have something, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 27, 1 million of them. And again, natural numbers are just whole numbers. They're not fractions. Okay, so this is kind of the umbrella, you could say, of real numbers. All of these number sets, rational numbers, whole numbers, natural numbers, and irrational numbers, fall under this real number set. So let's take a look back then now, a little bit more specifically, at irrational numbers. So we see that the most well-known irrational number is pi. We estimate pi at about 3.14159, so on and so forth. They're out to trillions upon trillions of digits right now, and they still haven't found an end, and they still haven't found anything repeating within the number. So the definition, again, of an irrational number is it's a number that, when written as a decimal, does not repeat or terminate. So some other famous ones would be the square root of 2. Really, any square root of number, any square rooted number that's not a perfect square is going to be an irrational number. So you could talk about the square root of 3, the square root of 5, the square root of 7. Square root of 9 would be rational because it's equal to 3 or negative 3. So most numbers that are the square root, quite a few of them are irrational. So how do we identify these irrational numbers on a number line? Well, we could look at it in terms of understanding the ones that we do know. So with pi, it's kind of one of those where you know it or you don't know it. Okay, but when we have, say, the square root of 7, we can think to ourselves, what number does that fall between? Well, we don't know the square root of 6, we don't know the square root of 5, we know the square root of 4 though. and we know that that is 2. So the lower end of that is 2, and so then the upper end, thinking the square root of 8 we don't know, square root of 9 we do know is 3. So if we were to put this into our number line, we know that it's somewhere between 2 and 3, and it's actually kind of right in the middle, a little bit closer to the 3 side of things. So it'll be kind of right in there. And so we could say that this is the square root of 7. So by understanding the ones that we do know, we can estimate where those are located on the number line. Now you could take a calculator and take the square root of 7 and get a very specific answer that we could then round to the hundredths place or the thousandths place or the 10,000ths place. But this is just a general way of getting an estimate of where is it about on a number line. So that is the real number set. Those are your irrational numbers. Hopefully this video was helpful. And if it was, you can go ahead and like this video and check out the other videos that I have available for you. Thanks for watching.